The Cannabis Show is for information only. You should always consult with a qualified and licensed physician or other medical care provider.
Today on The Cannabis Show, soil versus hydro. Evan teaches us the difference in growing tips. We explore strain Yorkshire and learn more about terpenes with Basil. All that and more coming right up.
We've been talking about terpenes for quite some time now. For the most part, we've been focusing on the terps that we consume directly from our medicine, whether it be through vaporization or via ingestion of extracted oils. Today, let's touch on the terps that have been extracted from their respective plants in order for you to use them in whichever way that you see fit. Specifically, let's note just a couple of the differences between cannabis-derived terpenes and non-cannabis-derived terpenes. Cannabis terpenes are derived directly from the plant. For that reason, the blend tends to mimic exactly the taste and smell of that particular strain. The other thing that will be replicated is the effect of that particular strain. The downside to this is that without automation in the growing process, we will always get variation in the plant's finished product, which means slight variations in the effects produced by the extracted terpenes. On the other hand, terpenes that are derived from other plants and then separated have the ability to be mixed in exact amounts, producing a standard blend that will carry with it the exact same smell and taste from batch to batch. This standardization allows for consistent effects that you can depend on every time.
Growing tips. Hi, I'm Chris, and this is Evan. He's like a grow master, I guess you could say. We got some things in front of us. What would you call this stuff? What's going on here?
Today we're talking about growing mediums and the difference
growing
between...
ghosts?
The growing mediums is the substance which the roots of our plant are going to grow through and uptake the water and the nutrients.
It's called medium?
It's called medium, yeah.
Did not know that. All right, so what are we looking at here then?
Well, there's a couple different types of medium. The most popular is probably, or the most common that comes to mind is going to be soil.
Yeah, the soil.
It's kind of a generic term, yeah, for a mixture of cocoa, coir, peat moss, vermiculite, and perlite. Soil also have organic compounds like guano, manure, or earthworm castings to provide nutrients for the plant.
Okay, so that's the two if you're using like a soil base.
That's a soil. There's also, it can get confusing because this over here is called soilless mix.
Okay.
So this contains a lot of the same things as soil and looks a lot like soil, but doesn't have any of the nutrients.
So you gotta add like a type of plant food.
Exactly. So this gives us a little bit more control because we're going to add those nutrients in with our watering, giving us full control of what's available to our plant, as well as the ability to flush once we're done our cycle.
So the object is to get the perfect full bud.
Yeah, definitely, the perfect amount of plants available. Not too much to burn the plant, and not too little that they're hungry.
So is this one like more of a hydroponics setup?
Hydroponics is usually where you use a reservoir and pumps to constantly circulate or to circulate that water regularly. So you can use a few different mediums. There's expanded clay pellets, rock wool cubes, or you can even use a highly oxygenated water. That is called perlite.
Oh, okay. And does it dissolve in the water?
It doesn't dissolve in the water. No? It's also the little white bits that you can see in the soil.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
Definitely, those soils are always mixtures. The easiest place to start is probably with a good soilless mix, and that gives you that control over the nutrients available to your plant. It's probably going to be one of the most affordable places to start too.
And then when you get more advanced, you can move on to this kind of stuff. Awesome. I think we're going to be talking a lot more about this kind of stuff on growing tips in future episodes as well. So yeah, no, thank you very much, Evan.
Thank you.
In a classic case of my mess becoming my message, I'd like to talk a bit about magnesium. Most adults are deficient in this very important mineral. There's just not enough left in our soils. For me, it at least contributed to headaches and decades of restless leg syndrome. If you need to add magnesium to your life, look for a highly absorbable capsule or try a reputable spray. This spray not only helps me sleep, it virtually eliminates my restless leg syndrome. If I spray it on before I apply a topical cannabinoid salve or lotion, the MCT in the coconut oil help absorption of the magnesium and vice versa.
Welcome to Cannabinoid Connection. I'm Chris with Hart, and I must admit, I really enjoy this portion of the show. Always learning something new, and today's no different. CBN.
That's right, CBN. So it's cannabinol, and CBN is kind of a unique cannabinoid in that, number one, it's not psychoactive. So let's get that off right. But what happens with CBN is it's great for things like pain. It's great for things like it's antifungal, it's anti-inflammatory, all those good things. But it's really good as a sedative. So CBN starts to degrade, or THC starts to degrade to form CBN. So it's actually a byproduct of THC, CBN. So most fresh cannabis or cannabis that you're going to get right off the hop is going to have very low concentrations of CBN. If you're looking to get the maximum benefits, say for sleep or something like that, I would probably go as far as to take your cannabis, stick it on a windowsill, let the sun have at it for 2 weeks even if you want. Those levels are going to go up and you're going to really get the sedating
That's crazy, because cannabis can do no wrong. Even when you think you're leaving it out, you think it's just deteriorating, but it's actually creating something new.
Right.
And for medical reasons, for people who can't sleep, they just leave their cannabis out, like you said, in a jar in the sunshine.
Right. And most people don't don't want that because that's going to give you that logy, low energy feeling. But for a lot of people looking for sleep, that's exactly what they want.
So I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's an indica or a sativa. If you,
I mean, I would recommend starting with an indica, obviously. But
indica is more of a nighttime strain.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to do the same degradation with the sativa. Too.
Sweet. And how much does the THC downgrade over time?
It's going to, obviously degrade and oxidize and that kind of thing. But you're still going to get the psychoactive effects from if it's high THC.
Man, can cannabis do any wrong? That's amazing.
Never.
So leave that cannabis out if you're having problems sleeping, and then
give it a shot.
Excellent. Thanks, Hart. Patients that are dealing with chronic pain and depression may want to try Tweed sun-grown Yorkshire strain. Also known as Headband, this indica-based plant is relatively inexpensive to purchase, which alone can help anxiety. In all seriousness though, once inhaled, patients have said that anxiety dips away, as does chronic pain and migraines. Being an indica, some patients have said that it helps them relax into sleep, while others have said that after the initial burst, they are able to be more active from the pain relief. Sun-grown Yorkshire is said to be good for depression, as it comes across as uplifting and euphoric. It may make you giggle while also having a calming effect. For growers, Headband generates bigger buds with some nice orange colors mixed in, and usually generates the THC in the range of 15 to 20%. You can ask us anything. Hi, I'm Chris. We have Hart and Basil over here. Today's question comes from Eugene. Some people say flower, some people say bud. What part of the plant is actually used?
Yeah, well, flower and bud are the same thing. So that's something we can clear up right there.
That's kind of like the bud and the flower, the part that comes off. Right?
Exactly. So yeah, the part that really contains the most medicine is the bud. That's what we're talking about. Also, only from the female plant. That's where it's grown, but the medicinal properties come from female plants.
Maybe just give us a quick outline, we'll just kind of imagine the plant, but starting with the stem. Maybe.
Yeah, so you have your stem or your stalk, and then what would happen is you would have where it kind of shoots off, and that would be sort of the bud site, really at the node. And then what you have also are fan leaves that sort of act as those big solar panels. That's where they get a lot of energy from. And then some smaller leaves around the bud. But generally speaking, I mean,
so
the bud is the flower.
Yeah, the flower, the bud. Yeah. That's where you're getting all your medicine from.
Yeah.
Just to quickly interject with the stem or the stalk itself, some people actually save that. Can you use it for anything? Or
I like to save the bits of the stem that are close to where the flower was growing, because often you'll get some trichomes growing on that stem.
Is that the resin type, the sticky stuff?
Yeah, those little hair-looking things with the heads. That's where your cannabinoids are, the majority of your terpenes. So that's those trichomes often grow on that part of the stem as well. So I'll save those, and I'll use those in a batch of cannabis oil when I'm making a batch. I'll just throw them in along with my throw them in along with the bud and see if I can get anything else off them.
Right, yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. If you got a question for us on the Cannabis Show, just go to thecannabisshow@naturalhealthservices.ca and fire off an email.